Alright, welcome back to some more Chaos End Times in Warhammer 2. And on paper, this is going to be the easiest battle we've fought so far, and to be honest with you, I don't disagree with that. To the number of enemy units, the cavalry, the amount of cavalry they had, and this army doesn't exactly deal well with mass cavalry, but it deals really well with practically everything here apart from the giant, which even the giant isn't that good. I mean, if you compare a giant to a unit of chosen, you're going to notice that it's not that different. Sure enough, it has, which means it's, and it doesn't actually, so it might have a lot of soldiers in the unit, whereas with a giant, there is only one. But let's look at this first. That's mostly because of your plot armor, Archeon. You're actually not that good, but, you know, they really wanted to end the series with you, so, well, I suppose not really end it, rewrite the entire lore and everything, so, yeah. I suppose I understand somewhat. So let's get going. The cavalry will immediately charge forward as fast as humanly, well, as fast as chaotically possible. It's a bit weird to say it out loud, but it is what it is. Essentially, I don't think these guys are going to react. They don't have any ranged. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go there, and then there, and charge in the rear of these and stop them from firing. That is the most important thing we can do. And they've chosen to fire on the skirmishers first. Now, I can try and dodge a little bit with them, but apparently there won't be a need considering the fact that they're moving the cannons instead of trying to do anything remotely useful with them, like shoot me. Hey, I'm not going to complain. Though I do want Archeon as close to these cannons as physically possible, because I will hit them with, and they are guarding them with Forsaken and the Chaos Trolls. That's a smart move. But like I said, I want to hit them with everything I've got, because they're the only things that can endanger anyone or anything. And luckily they've mostly missed. Now, as I say that, the last two hit, so never mind. Alright. Medium randomly moving area of effect. No, we want this. Strong versus a single unit. Good against armor, large strike area. Now, you say strong against a single unit. I don't actually believe that. Because what I believe is that it's really strong against whatever I intend to hit with it. Oh yeah. You can see how much power these wield, because the moment I've hit them with something heavy, like this spell, victory is within my grasp. So I guess just something to consider about the power of this bloody thing. Now, it's very important that we don't get held up. Ooh, but I do want the halberdiers to fight that thing. Okay, but like I said, it's very important that we don't get held up by the giant or by anything in the center. We want to get up here as quickly as possible. And I want to charge the cannons with Archeon himself too. And they're doing their best to stop me from endangering those cannons. Now, luckily, again, the famous underground fireball of Archeon the Ever-Chosen. Quite the interesting little thing. I mean, you can see that we've already crushed both the Forsaken that have charged us to stop the center from moving up, but also the giant. A unit of Chosen is on, like, what? Have they lost like a sixth of their health? Something along those lines. And the giant has lost more than half its health. So they will win against this giant solo, which is not entirely great for the enemy. And here, I mean, Chosen are just better than Chaos Warriors in every respect, unless it's on legendary difficulty, in which case they're not. But this is just one of the reasons why I find legendary difficulty a little bit, well, there's nothing necessarily inherently wrong with it. I understand the idea behind it. It's just, like I mentioned, not for me. Let's send another one of those infamous fireballs in. And I mean, the moment we've hit the cannons and stopped them from firing is the moment we've indeed won the battle. Now, the enemy has reinforcements coming in, and this is in the shape of a dragon and dragon ogres, so it's not completely harmless, but there is a beauty behind the fact that we've essentially eliminated the entire enemy army with little to no casualties, and that we are now ready, able and willing to fight against another enemy army of the same or roughly the same size. And I think that is quite the achievement. So what I do want to figure out is how many of these will be coming in. It's just 3 ogres and 1 dragon. Nothing too dangerous. Let's send out some forces to meet them. And I'll actually grab the cavalry as well and get those ready to meet them too. Most of the cavalry can chase down the Chaos Warriors. first. Now, I'd like to get rid of the trolls, but Archaon's magic is a little bit more useful. So it begins then. I have my... well, I have some of my great weapons here. So I suppose that's something. And I will go in with a cavalry charge very soon too. So overall I'm quite happy about the way this is going, even though individually we don't stand a chance in hell of beating these on a one-on-one, and in, dare I say it, a fair fight. But this is by no means a fair fight. If anything, I'm more worried about the dragon than the dragon ogres, honestly. Though they are very, very powerful units. But as you can see, they will break as easily as any other unit. And there we go. There's no reason to continue the battle. The Eye of the Thing. I've never remembered the name of the artifacts that Archaon got. I know the Crown of Domination, the Slayer of Kings, and the armor. I just remember it as the armor. However, I find it a little bit puzzling, let's say, even though I did talk about this extensively in the past, how he got all those items. So I've talked already about the sword and mentioned sort of passingly a few other things too. But see, it wasn't due to his abilities. There is that most, and that I find the most in omnipotence. That self. Now you get to see Arthas as even cliche, and that's not necessarily bad. I mean, naivety is not a good trait, but it can be a good trait from a storytelling perspective if done properly, right? So a naive character doesn't necessarily have to be annoying in any way for him to. I just needed to know what was up there. For him to carry the story forward, right? You can have a naive character and not have your audience be annoyed with it or criticize the character himself. It is difficult to do such a thing. It is difficult to tell such a tale, but it is possible. So we have the Crown of Domination that we get later, I suppose, which is a little bit disappointing, but all right. I think I want to get armor on him and start kitting him out as a fighter a little bit more. Yeah, makes sense to me, I think. But this will help slightly too. But this is not a very good item. The armor was nice, 12 armor, 6 defense, ward save and all that, but this is meh. Alright. Let's take a look at how the Empire is doing and how my Puppets of Chaos are doing. So, to nobody's surprise, the Empire has lost the territories in Norska they hoped to gain and hold, but they've retaken Erengrad. Yeah, there's a Doomstack here, I'm afraid, might be able to beat. Is this France or Boris? This is Boris Todbringer, yeah. Well, considering it's Boris, he might be able to fend them off, but I'm also slightly worried about the number of armies, though none of them are at full strength, so yeah, I think the Empire's holding off alright. Let's see where the entire war goes and how it goes. Interesting. They are getting stronger and stronger, but I don't really see it. I think they were stronger a few turns ago. Mind you, they probably have more armies now, but they're less concentrated, I think is what's going on. And none of their armies are at full strength. But they are recruiting. Oh, how did I not notice this? I did not notice this. I forgot that the southern oblast was completely destroyed. Now they've taken back Fort Yakova and Kislev. So they've actually pushed back. But they lose Erengrad again. But they take the Bay of Blades, which they're never going to be able to hold anyway, but bit of back and forth, but an entire province of the Empire has been reclaimed. Not that it's any of my business, but what are the Lisbon doing over here? Interesting. Interesting. Spirit of the Jungle. I'm sorry. Spirit of the Jungle. The jungle, you say? I think the spirit is ever so slightly lost his way. Yeah, you're heading in the right direction now, but what were you doing here in the first place, is my question. Oh, noble spirit of the jungle. Because, don't know if you've noticed, but the nearest jungle is about 6 or 7 provinces south. There is no jungle in Norska, and there is no jungle in Kislev. So seriously, what the hell are you doing? Is essentially my question. Now, since it will most likely remain unanswered, I think I'm just going to murder him when I get to him, but I do need to recruit another horde. Now, I can't sustain it financially, because I only have 900 income on top of what I already have, but I think I've built up a war bank enough to be able to not only recruit all the best units for the new horde eventually, but also keep that, whoops, sorry about that, keep that horde around for a relatively decent amount of time, maybe even forever. Well, obviously not forever. What I mean, relatively decent amount of time, is with the bank I have, provided I earn nothing in the meantime. You know, so, which is essentially never going to happen, but yeah, it's something to think about. Now, I would like an unholy furnace. Well, actually, no, I would not like an unholy furnace, it's useless. I would like a demonic forge, because gore beast chariots aren't good. Chariots in general aren't good, but the hell cannon is amazing. However, I'm going to get this due to the legendary lord, or due to the fact that it's a requirement for the legendary lord. I'm going to get probably the arcane vortex, and that leaves me with 2 more, which will be the mound of blades and the shrine to Tsench, I think. Yeah, definitely the shrine to Tsench with Archeon. So I'm rather happy with all of that. Oh, and I do have the Banner's Rage mission too, so, or quest too, so that will slightly help with raising the new army, I suppose. Kolak Sun Eater is now available. So just out of curiosity, I can declare war on them. Okay. Strength rank number 1. My strength rank is 9. This annoys me. So, because it annoys me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the Dragon Ogre Shoggoth lair, also known as the Lightning Grounds, or, you know, known by their proper name as the Lightning Grounds. The former was, well, entirely fake, let's be honest about it. And I'm going to make my way south towards Kiz. We're not finishing off quite yet, as I'd very much like to get the Lord and the Horde, which rhymed purely accidentally, and deal with that entire logistical even problem my mind is drawn a little bit towards the Empire now, not in the sense of conquest and all that. I mean, obviously yes, but also I'm thinking about the well, essentially I'm thinking about how the Empire's feeling while all of this is happening, and how it would be to play as the Empire. Because essentially all I'm saying is I don't really envy them. Exalted Hero, out of curiosity. Yeah, grabbing this will give me an additional 4 ranks for the Exalted Hero. It's worth waiting. It really, really is. But what we're not going to wait for is Kolek Sun Eater. So here's the thing. Kolek will get like most of the Chosen, I think. Half, I think, is fair, right? There's some attrition with the Marauder Horsemen, I don't care. And then I'm going to encamp and recruit for Kolek. Dragon Ogre Shoggoths. And a whole load of them at that. And also I'm going to get the Tribes of Chaos immediately maxed out because we want the most amount of growth in this horde. Almost as physically possible, but not quite. A little trick on how to get... Well, it's not really a neat little trick, it's fairly obvious, but I think it is worth showing and mentioning of how to deal with this logistical problem now. What I mean is you now have the ability to recruit Kolek's units in Archaon's Horde, but you don't have the ability to recruit Kolek's units in Kolek's Horde, right? So essentially all you do is you take a few thousand favor penalty, or you know, it's not really a penalty, but you know what I mean. It'll take you will lose a few thousand favor, and essentially what you're going to do is you're going to recruit the units that Kolek needs in Archaon's army. Now, that said, I do want... Yeah, this, the Herald of Doom. Chaos Giants and Feral Manticores I don't care about, but melee attack for Dragon Ogre Shoggoth units, very useful, and... Ooh, wait, this is better. Infernal Marches is much more important, because we're now getting up to some serious movement speed that we did not have access to previously. I think I should put Kolek in forced march during the sort of downtime and the waiting period while we gather all our forces. And the reason is, if he spends a few turns in forced march, this is insane. What are you doing, Empire? Can we not focus that down, please? Just absolutely insane. Oh, well. Okay, not quite what I meant when I said focus that down, but I suppose that's one way of doing it. So now let's take back our chosen. And the reason I'm doing this is I need to fight this Empire army. So the Empire army is retreating. I'm quite happy with that, actually. Because now we switch units around again. And I completely mess it up, because now I can't recruit. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'll tell you what, I will get rid of the Marauder Horsemen, though. I think I'll use Dragon Ogres myself instead of those horsemen. But yeah, surprise, surprise, I suppose, right? You can't recruit a full stack like this anyway, but I'm not looking for a full stack, to be honest with you. Now the Empire's looking like it's itself. They're taking back Kislev. They have full stacks moving up and down under ridiculous attrition, but they're soldiering on through it. I like this. This is a change for the better, I would say. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 6 versus 4 stacks here. That is proper warfare. You'll love to see it, basically. Okay, actually we don't want to give them these, right? Yeah, we just want Archeon to recruit as many of these as he can. And obviously finances will, but we will deal with that by simply razing Kislev to the ground. And a few more settlements down south, and that will really seal the deal when it comes to the entire end times. And the end times as a whole, really. Because after we raise a few more Empire provinces, and maybe even some of the mountain settlements over here, that should snowball to the point where the other civilized factions simply will not be able to keep up, and will submit and succumb to our strength. Now, I say that, but the AI is not the smartest in the world, and they might have some other plans, like not attacking at all. Now this is actually going to help if we can solve this. Okay, here you're looking for the symbol that doesn't repeat. So you have 2 arrows, you have 2 weird looking A's, you have 2 triangles, you have 2 of those, but you do not have 2 downward pointing arrows. So this is the symbol that doesn't repeat. and the extra 1,000 is actually going to make a difference. So here we go. Need to head out again into the world for great conquest and stuff. Right, second army failed. That's good. You're gonna need to retreat here, I'm afraid. And I think the Empire is in forced march here and doesn't want to leave one of its armies behind. So for next time we should have a very, very impressive battle against the Empire's forces on the outskirts of Prague. So let's prepare for that by no, this is Kolek, so Kolek gives the Chosen and Archeon gives the Dragon Ogres. Good. And from the post-battle loot alone, we should be able to have a, you know, quite a decent, I would say, quite a decent amount of money to base our campaigns off of in the future, but this is all for next time. So, until the said next time, I bid you all farewell, have fun, take care, and bye-bye.